Welcome back to Nothing But Anime. Everyone, we're on part 8 of the What If Deku Become Pokemon Master series. If you like what you're watching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Crush them Morgrem, Tamura shouted as he sent out his Pokemon. Let's cut him up Poniard, Toga said doing the same thing. Time for round 2 Dojuo, Jean shouted sending out his own Pokemon. Let's go Trapinch, Izuku called out. Time to fight Togepi, Hachiko shouted. Send them to the abyss Duskull, Tokoyami cried. All the Pokemon came out onto the field, crying out their names and staring down the opposing side, all of them ready to battle. Fake out, Tamura ordered. Grem. Immediately Morgrem charged forward, the move causing him to become so fast that it was like he teleported, and slapped the sides of Togepi's head. Pie, Togepi cried, flinching and being unable to move for a second. Now hit him with quick attack, Jean ordered. Dojuo was covered in white energy and was about to start running towards Togepi. Use Mud Slap, Izuku ordered. Pinch. Just as Dodu was running towards Togepi, Trapinch shot out a blast of mud at them, hitting them right in the face, doing some damage, halting their attack and lowering their accuracy. Hey, what gives I thought flying types were immune to ground-type moves, Jean shouted out in outrage. That only applies when the damn things are flying, you numbskull, Tamura scolded him. Don't worry, I got ya, Toga shouted, about to command her Pokemon to attack. Shadow Sneak the Poniard, Tokoyami ordered. Duskull immediately sunk into the shadow, before rising out of Poniard's shadow, hitting them from behind. Poniard grunted, staggering forward a bit as the attack did minimal damage. Hey, rude, Toga pouted at the dark-haired boy. Poniard retaliate with Night Slash. Yard. Poniard turned around and slashed Duskull away, dealing super effective damage to the ghost-type Pokemon, and knocking them away. Skull, Duskull cried out in pain. Trapinch helped them out. Use Dig and attack Poniard, Izuku ordered. Trap. Trapinch quickly dug into the ground. Oh, Poniard dodge it please, Toga commanded. Good luck with that. Sucker punch, Tamura ordered. Poniard looked around frantically, trying to figure out where Trapinch would come from, only for Trapinch to pop out of the ground under them, ramming them with their body and doing super effective damage. And then immediately after, while Trapinch was jumping out of the ground, Morgrem rushed forward and punched Trapinch in the face, sending them flying. Pinch! Trapinch cried as he skipped across the ground, before coming to a stop and picking themselves up. Togepi Ancient Power on Morgrem, Hachiko ordered. Pie! Togepi launched magical rocks at Morgrem. Cut him up with Metal Claw, Toga ordered. Yard. Poniard jumped in front of Morgrem and sliced apart the rocks, keeping them from hitting her ally. Dojuo used Substitute and then double hit on Trapinch, Jean commanded. Do! Dojuo grimaced, as they sacrificed some of their vitality, to create a duplicate of themselves, that stood next to them before they ran towards Trapinch to attack. Use Shadow Sneak and get Trapinch out of the way, Tokoyami ordered. As Dojuo and its substitute were closing in on Trapinch, Duskull came out of Trapinch's shadow and pushed them out of the way. Dojuo and the fake both attacked Duskull, attempting to headbutt it twice each. But the attacks just went right through them as they were normal-type attacks. Togepi used Ancient Power on the Dojuos, Hachiko ordered. Pie! Togepi once again launched a group of rocks at Dojuo and his substitute. Duskull used Shadow Sneak and Getaway, Tokoyami ordered. Skull! Duskull sunk into the shadows just in time, popping up behind Togepi, while the rocks smashed into Dojuo and the substitute. Duo! Dojuo shouted out in pain as the super effective rocks smashed into them and the substitute, destroying the substitute and doing a good deal of damage to Dojuo, but unfortunately Togepi didn't get the boost. Morgrem, use Play Rough on Trapinch, Tamura ordered. Morgrem charged at Trapinch, its hand glowing pink. Grem, Pinch, Trapinch cried as it was punched in the face, and knocked away onto their side. Keep going. Pound them to death Morgrem, Tamura ordered maniacally. Morgrem cried as both its fist glowed pink, and it ran towards Trapinch, who was pulling themselves off the ground. Use Bite, Izuku ordered. Trap! Trapinch's mouth glowed, and it caught Morgrem's fist in their mouth, biting down on their arm. More! Morgrem cried out in pain, panicky flailing around its arm to try and throw Trapinch off, but the smaller Pokemon held on tight and sank its teeth deep into their arm. Don't worry boss, I'll help, Toga said. Use Swords Dance and then Metal Claw. Poniard rubbed its blades together in a dance-like motion, increasing its attacks 2 stages before its claws glowed, and they grew to 3 times the size. Yard! Oh! Trapinch let go and used to Dig to get out of there, Izuku ordered desperately. Trapinch quickly let go of Morgrem's arm, but barely had any time to start digging, before Poniard's blade crashed into their body, hitting them across the cave and slamming them into a wall. Trapinch! Izuku shouted out in fear and concern. Trapinch hit the ground, landing on their stomach, and everyone could see that it was fighting to stay conscious, trying not to faint, as it painstakingly pulled itself onto their legs. Hee, looks like your pathetic Pokemons had enough. It's no match for Morgrem, Tamura cackled. Morgrem cackled alongside its trainer. Trapinch, get up. I know you can. We need to keep going if you want to get stronger. Izuku encouraged them. Please, Trapinch. I believe in you. Trapinch. Trapinch shook their head and forced themselves into their legs. Once again ready to fight. Great job, Trapinch. Izuku cheered. Togepi, support Trapinch with Life Dew. Hachiko ordered. Pie. Togepi ran over to Trapinch and started forming the Life Dew in their hands. Oh no, you don't. Jean shouted. Finish Trapinch off with Quick Attack Dojuo. Move them out of the way with Shadow Sneak. Tokoyami ordered. Do. Dojuo yelled as it was surrounded in white energy, before running towards Trapinch at top speed. And in the nick of time, Duskull appeared behind Trapinch and moved them out of the way, causing Dojuo to run through them and smack into the wall. "You-oh!" Dojuo cried out. "That is getting really annoying," Jean shouted. "Great strategy, buddy, keep going." "Don't worry, buddy, I'll knock him out." "Use Night Slash," Toga commanded. Poniard. Poniard's blades turned black, and they charged at Duskull. "Shadow Sneak on Morgrim," Tokoyami shouted. "You're getting predictable." "Sucker Punch," Tamura ordered. Duskull sunk into the shadows, causing Poniard to miss their attack, but as they came up behind Morgrim, Morgrim immediately turned around and punched Duskull in the face, their fist cloaked in dark energy, doing super effective damage and sending the ghost type flying. "Skull," Duskull cried as they hit the wall. "Mud Slap on Morgrim," Izuku ordered. "Trap, Inch." Trapinch shot out blasts of mud at Morgrim, hitting them and doing a bit of damage, and lowering their accuracy as they tried to whip mud out of their eyes. "Now use Dig," Izuku ordered. "Sucker Punch," Tamura roared. "Confuse Ray," Tokoyami countered. As Trapinch dug into the ground, and Morgrim charged up a dark energy-powered punch, Duskull charged up a yellow light and shot it at Morgrim. More! Morgrim looked at the light, as it spun around them, and suddenly, everything became dizzy. More! Pinch! Trapinch came out of the ground below Morgrim, and tackled them, sending them flying. Grem! Morgrim still tried to use Sucker Punch, but since they were confused, they just hit the closest thing to them, that being Poniard. Grem! Yard! Poniard cried out in pain and confusion, as Morgrim socked them in the face, knocking them to the ground. "Boss, what the heck?" Toga pouted at Tamura. "Don't blame me, you idiot." Morgrim's confused. Tamura shouted at her. "Dojuo, agility, and then drill peck the Trapinch," Jean commanded. "Dojuo." Dojuo became shrouded in a blue aura, and they ran at Trapinch, their beak glowing before they hit Trapinch with a mighty peck. "Pinch!" Trapinch cried as they were once again thrown across the cave. By the time they hit the ground, they were already unconscious. "Trapinch, you did good, buddy," Izuku said, returning Trapinch to his Pokeball. "Chase Spin. Avenge them. Pin." Chase Spin came out with an angry look on their face, ready to get revenge for Trapinch. "Togepi, use Ancient Power on Dojuo," Hachiko ordered. "Metal Claw," Toga commanded. Togepi shot rocks at Dojuo, and Poniard jumped in front of them and sliced them to pieces. "Shadow Sneak in Poniard," Tokoyami ordered, capitalizing on an opening. "Use Vine Whip after Duskull hits them," Izuku followed up. Duskull popped up behind Poniard, and smacked them forward, where Chase Spin then smacked them back with vines, sending them to the ground, unconscious. "Oh, you double-teamed me," Toga pouted, before sending out her next Pokemon. "Ditto, come out and give them a taste of their own medicine." "Ditto!" Ditto cheered, as they came onto the battlefield. They looked at Chase Spin and immediately started to change form until they turned into an exact copy of Chase Spin. "Future Sight on Ditto," Tokoyami ordered. Thus, Duskull formed orbs of psychic energy around him, before sending them away via some kind of portal. "Sucker Punch," Tamura ordered. More! Morgrim charged at Duskull and punched them in the face the moment the attack ended. "Skull!" Duskull cried as they got launched by the attack. "Drill Peck on Duskull," Jean ordered. "Stop them with Ancient Power," Hachiko shouted. Dojuo charged at Duskull, its speed having been multiplied by agility, and it pecked Duskull hard, sending it flying to the ground, unconscious. However, the moment Dojuo finished its attack, it was bashed in the face with rocks, sending it to the ground also unconscious. Togepi glowed blue as the attack hit, signifying that they finally got the buffs. "You did well, Duskull, return." Tokoyami commended his Pokemon as he returned them to their ball. "Come out, Dreepy. Get out here, Doublade," Jean said, sending out his next Pokemon after returning his old one. The two new Pokemon took to the field and the battle continued. "Alright, Togepi, Baton Pass," Hachiko ordered. "Shadow Sneak. Don't let him switch," Jean ordered. "Thunder Wave them the moment they come out of the shadows," Tokoyami ordered. Doublade quickly sunk into the shadows, before appearing behind Togepi. But before they could attack, Dreepy shot them with a wave of electricity, paralyzing them and stunning them for a moment. That was long enough for Togepi to return to their Pokeball. "Come out, Tranquil," Hachiko smiled confidently as she sent out her next Pokemon. Quill. Tranquil spread its wings as they came out, glowing blue as they received the boost to all their stats from Togepi. "Roll out on the bird, Ditto," Toga ordered. "Stop them with Rollout Chase Spin," Izuku counter-ordered. Both Chasepin and Ditto rolled into balls and were surrounded with light brown energy, as Ditto rolled towards Tranquil, but Chasepin crashed into their side, moving them away. Oh, this is fun. Keep going, Ditto, Toga said. Keep using rollout Chasepin, Izuku ordered. Cheese, Ditto, the two now identical Pokemon, crashed into each other over and over again with rollout, doing more damage to each other each time. Use assurance on Chasepin after they clash again, Tamura commanded. More. Morgrem reeled back their open palm, as it glowed with dark energy. Chasepin and Ditto crashed into each other once more, their attacks clashing, and that's when Morgrem jumped in and smacked Chasepin in the side, Assurance doing double damage having hit right after one of his allies' attacks. Pin! Chasepin cried out, as they were knocked out of rollout, and smacked across the battlefield onto their back. Alright, Ditto, don't let up. Knock him out with Wood Hammer, Toga ordered eagerly. 2. Ditto stopped using rollout and jumped in the air, coming down towards Chasepin, their arm glowing green and forming a hammer shape. Knowing that Chasepin couldn't dodge, Izuku saw only one course of action. Chasepin counter with Wood Hammer. Cheese. Chasepin sat up and formed a Wood Hammer of their own. The two came closer to each other, with Ditto coming down ready to strike and Chasepin getting ready to counter it. But then suddenly, portals opened around Ditto, and it was hit with a powerful psychic force. 2. Ditto cried out in pain as it took a strong attack to the back, causing it to stop their attack and leaving them open. Chasepin saw the opening and smacked Ditto in the face with Wood Hammer, doing a bit of recoil damage to themselves, and a lot of regular damage to Ditto, as they were flung across the battlefield and crashed into a wall. D2. Ditto grunted in pain. Alright, Future Sight hit at just the right moment. Izuku cheered, before turning to Tokoyami. Thanks. Tokoyami nodded, smiling with pride. Finish them off, Aircutter, Achiko ordered. Tranquil turned towards Ditto, who was still pulling themselves out of the wall, and opened up their wings, as they glowed blue. Oh! Doublade used Shadow Sneak and stop them, Jean ordered in a panic. Wait, you idiot, they're a normal type, Tamura shouted at his teammate. Dubald sunk into the shadows, came out behind Tranquil, and attempted to hit them only for their attack to go right through them. Quill! Tranquil shot out wind, saw blades right at Ditto. Ditto stared at the blades with wide eyes, before they hit them, doing super effective damage, and pushing them back into the wall. Ditto. Ditto slid to the ground and passed out, returning back to their normal form. Ah man. Sorry, Toga. Jean said, apologizing to his teammate with his head held down. Aw, don't worry, Jean. At least you tried. Toga said, patting him on the head as she returned her Pokemon. Come out, Zura. Zo! Zura cried as they came out. Tranquil, let's finish off Morgrem. Use Quick Attack, Achiko ordered. Sucker Punch, Tamura ordered. Swift, Tokoyami added. Tranquil became covered in white energy, but before they could attack, Morgrem charged towards them and was about to punch them, but they were hit by stars sent by Dreepy, which allowed Tranquil to crash into them and launch them away. Graham! Morgrem shouted as they skidded across the ground, stopping at Tamura's feet, unconscious. Tisich! Damn it! Tamura growled as he returned Morgrem. You better not fail. Krokorok! Kruorok! Krokorok roared as they came onto the battlefield. Zura used Shadow Ball on Dreepy, Toga commanded. Zo! Yura! Zura formed a ball of ghostly energy in their mouth, before launching it at Dreepy. Dodge it! Tokoyami shouted. Push him into it, Doublade. Use Shadow Sneak, Jean ordered. Dreepy tried to move out of the way of the Shadow Ball, but Doublade came out of their shadow, and smacked them into the Shadow Ball, causing it to explode. Dreepy! Tokoyami shouted. Py! Dreepy groaned, heavily injured from back-to-back super effective attacks. Use Gust on Zura, Achiko ordered. Leech Seed on Doublade, Izuku added. Tranquil shot a gust of wind, hitting Zura and knocking them back. Cheese! Chasepin spat out a bunch of seeds at Doublade, which embedded themselves into them, and started to drain their health, giving it to Chasepin. Use Dig on Chasepin, Tamura ordered. Krokorok dug underground, getting ready to attack. I'll help. Doublade use Aerial Ace on Chasepin, Jean ordered. Doublade's blades glowed blue, as they charged at Chasepin, ready to strike, only to stop as the paralysis caused them to freeze. This is our chance, Izuku shouted. Chasepin used Bite, and then hold them under you. Cheese! Chasepin jumped at Doublade and bit one of their blades, doing super effective damage. Blade! Doublade cried out. Chasepin then spun Doublade around and slammed them into the ground. Then, Krokorok jumped out the ground, hitting Doublade instead of Chasepin. Blade! Doublade shouted out as they were hit with another super effective attack. Damn it, get out of my way! Tamura growled. Chasepin jumped off Doublade as the dual sword Pokemon was launched away. Use Infestation of Krokorok, Tokoyami ordered. Dreep! Py! Dreepy shot out a green blast at Krokorok, which exploded and covered Krokorok in energy bugs. Krokorok cried out in pain as the bugs started biting into them. Use Shadow Ball on Dreepy. Let's knock him out, Toga shouted. Zo! Zura started charging up another ball of energy. Pick them up, Tranquil, Achiko ordered. Tranquil charged at Zura, picking them up with their talons and carrying them up. Zo? Zura shouted out in confusion, canceling their attack. Achiko, throw them at Chase-Bin, and Chase-Bin use would hammer. Izuku strategize. Right. Achiko smiled at him and nodded, before turning back towards the battle. You heard him, Tranquil. Throw them at Chase-Bin. As Chase-Bin formed a wood hammer, Tranquil spun Zura around and then tossed them at Chase-Bin. Cheese! Chase-Bin reeled their arm back, before slamming it into the side of Zura's face. Hard. Pin. Bam! Zura flew into the cave wall, smashing into it harder than any of the other Pokemon so far. Zoo! Zura groaned weakly. Cheese! Chase-Bin grinned proudly, before wincing in pain from the recoil. Chase-Bin, use synthesis. Izuku ordered. Shadow Sneak. Don't let him heal. Jean countered. Then follow up with Aerial Ace. Chase-Bin started to glow, as he tried to heal himself, but he was stopped when Doublade jumped out of his shadow and smacked him to the ground. Doublade then glowed blue, and slashed at Chase-Bin, doing super effective damage. Pin! Chase-Bin cried out. Tranquil hit Doublade with Air Cutter. Achiko ordered. Quill. Tranquil launched the Air Cutter at Doublade. Shadow Sneak. Get out of there. Jean ordered. Don't let them go. Use Vine Whip to hold them. Izuku commanded. Doublade tried to sink into the shadow to avoid the attack, but Chespin's vines wrapped around them, holding them in place, allowing the Air Cutter to hit. Blade! Doublade flew back, onto the ground, where they quickly fainted. All right, another one down. Achiko cheered. Tranquil flew over to Chase-Bin, who got up and smiled at them. Pin! Chase-Bin held up their hand, and Tranquil looked ecstatic, as she gave him a high five. Earthquake! Tamura ordered in a rage. Oh! Tranquil grabbed Chase-Bin and fly. Achiko ordered as Krokorok lifted its leg. Tranquil flew up and grabbed Chase-Bin, taking him into the air, as Krokorok slammed its leg down, creating a massive shock wave. Zo! Dreep! The earth came up around Zura and Dreepy, hitting them and causing both of them to fall to the ground, unconscious. Hey! Toga gave Shigaraki an offended look. Just send out your next Pokemon. Tamura shouted at her. Geez, such a grump. Toga pouted, returning Zura, and grabbing her next Pokemon. Come out, Golbat. Defeat them, Oricorio, Tokoyami said, sending out his next Pokemon. Kick their butts, Magneton. Jean said, sending out his own Pokemon. Oricorio, in of course their ghost-type form, Magneton and Golbat took to the field. Alright. Golbat used Supersonic on Tranquil. Toga ordered. Thunder Wave M Magneton. Jean added. Golbat. Golbat shot out a sonic wave at Tranquil. Dodge it. Achiko commanded. Quill. Tranquil flew to the side, dodging the wave. However, she was hit with Thunder Wave from Magneton, paralyzing them. Chase-Bin, use Rollout, bounce around on the cave walls, so you can hit Golbat. Izuku ordered. Chase-Bin. Chase-Bin rolled up in a ball and rolled forward, hitting a wall and bouncing into it, and throwing themselves into the air at Golbat. Dodge it. Toga ordered. GOL. Golbat flew to the side, causing Chase-Bin to fly right past them. Keep using Rollout. Bounce off the walls and hit them. Izuku ordered. Chessis. Chase-Bin hit the wall and bounced off it, aiming himself back towards Golbat. Keep dodging, Golbat. Toga countered. Once again Golbat moved out of the way of the attack, but Chase-Bin just bounced off the opposite wall and came at them again, hitting them with a super effective attack. GOL. Golbat cried out, but it only got worse for them as Chase-Bin bounced off the ceiling and smacked them again, and then bounced off the ground and hit them again. A little help, guys? Toga asked her teammates, as her Pokemon got pounded. Ugh. Useless. Krokorok used Shadow Claw on Chase-Bin. Tamura ordered. Croc. Krokorok held up their claw, which grew, and became shrouded into ghost-type energy. However, as they went to attack Chase-Bin, they encountered a problem, as they couldn't figure out where to attack because Chase-Bin was bouncing all around the walls, never staying in one place for very long. Use Air Slash on Krokorok, Tokoyami shouted. Ori. One of Oricorio's wings glowed bright blue, and they flapped it at Krokorok, letting out an air blade at Krokorok. Croc. Krokorok cried as the attack hit him in the back, doing a good deal of damage. Don't worry, I'll stop them. Magneton used Lock On and then used Flash Cannon. Jean commanded. Magneton looked at Chase-Bin, locking onto them as they bounced around the cave hitting Golbat. Then they formed a bunch of gray energy in front of them before launching it. The energy hit Chase-Bin as he was flying towards Golbat for another attack, blasting them out of their attack and sending them to the ground. Chase-Bin groaned as he laid back on the ground. They were heavily injured and struggled to get back up to their feet. Chase-Bin, get up and use Synthesis. Izuku commanded. Time for some payback. Air Cutter on Chase-Bin. Toga ordered. Give Chase-Bin some time to recover. Use Quick Attack on Golbat. Achiko ordered. Chase-Bin got up and started to glow, and as he was doing that Golbat pulled their wings back, which glowed as they got ready to unleash an attack, but Tranquil, cloaked in white energy, tackled Golbat, interrupting them. Chase-Bin finished healing up, although since he was in a cave with little to no sunlight, His healing was a bit gimped. Use Scary Face on Chase-Bin, Tamura ordered. Krook. Krokorok glared at Chase-Bin. Their eyes glowed red, and Chase-Bin became enveloped in a red aura, lowering their speed. Now use Crunch, Tamura commanded. Crew. Krokorok charged towards Chase-Bin with their jaw open, ready to bite down on them. Air Slash. Tokoyami countered. Ori. Oricorio shot out another air slash at Krokorok, hitting them in the face, and interrupted their attack. Toga was about to give an order, but Jean tapped her on the shoulder and whispered something in her ear. Oh! Toga gave out a pleased coo, before leaning over to Tamura and whispering into his ear. Huh! Tamura smirked. Looks like you two can have a good idea once in a while. Krokorok faced towards Magneton. Golbat hide behind Krokorok, Toga ordered. Crow. Krokorok faced Magneton and Golbat dashed behind them. What are they? Izuku was cut off, as Jean shouted an order at the top of his lungs. Use Discharge, he commanded. Izuku's eyes widened in fear, as he saw Magneton quickly charge up, before unleashing a massive electric blast that quickly spread throughout the area. Quill, Cor, Pin, Tranquil, Chase-Bin, and Oricorio all got caught up in the blast, doing super effective damage to the two flying types, blasting all of them back, while Krokorok was immune to the attack, and Golbat was protected by Krokorok. Tranquil / Chase-Bin, Oricorio. All three trainers shouted out in concern for their Pokemon. Now do it again, Jean ordered. Chase-Bin hit them with Mud Shot, Izuku commanded, as Magneton charged up another blast, but Chase-Bin shot out bullets made of mud out of their mouth, smacking Magneton in the face with 4x super effective attack, stopping them in their tracks. Oricorio used Revelayan Dance, Tokoyami ordered. Air Cutter, Achiko added. Mud Shot, Izuku commanded. Cheese, Quill, Ori. All three of the Pokemon launched attacks at Magneton, which all landed, creating a small explosion. Magneton dropped out of the smoke of the explosion, falling onto the ground, unconscious. Ah darn it, I'm out of Pokemon, Jean stressed as he returned Magneton to his Pokeball. Golbat used Air Cutter on Chase-Bin, Toga ordered. GOL. Golbat flew up and launched air saws at Chase-Bin, which landed, sending Chase-Bin flying back. Cheese, Chase-Bin grunted as they pulled themselves up after receiving the super effective attack. Finish them, Shadow Claw, Tamura shouted. Crook. Krokorok ran forward, with their claw outstretched, and brimming with ghost-type energy. Wood Hammer, Izuku countered. Helping Hand, Tokoyami added. Chase-Bin reeled his arm back, making a hammer with grass-type energy on his arm, as Oricorio flew in, and gave him a pat on the back with her glowing wing, doubling their attack power. Pin. Chase-Bin charged at Krokorok, and the two thrust their attacks at each other. Wood Hammer met Shadow Claw, and the clash created an explosion that shook the cave around them. The explosion created a massive dust cloud that enveloped both of the attacking Pokemon, and Shigaraki and Izuku watched closely to see what the result of the clash would be. After a few moments, the dust settled, and both Pokemon were on the ground, knocked out. Chase-Bin, Izuku said remorsefully, as he pulled out his Pokeball and returned Chase-Bin. Rest up, you did great. Tsh. Useless. Tamura grunted. Both Tamura and Izuku took out their next Pokemon and shouted its name as they threw it out. Come out, Kubfu, they both shouted at the same time. The 8th and last part is officially done. If you missed the earlier episodes, check out the playlist for a catch-up. Big thanks to the author. Show them some love. I'll be back soon. Appreciate all your support.